Kicking it with Kay and Clay. 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 Hey everybody, thank you again for tuning in. Either you're watching or you're listening to us to Kicking It with Kay and Clay podcast. I'm your girl Kay Marie, and we have another great show for you today. So, we've been talking about health, self-care, and that is something that is just really near and dear to my heart, especially for us, our community, African Americans, because unfortunately, we're always like low on the list when it comes to things like this, and high on the list when it comes to different ailments and diseases and things like that. And it's just unfortunate. So anything I can do to bring awareness, I'm going to do it. And so far, we've been having great expert guests on the show to talk to us about self-care. And, last week we kicked it off with self-care with your physical practices. We had health coach Tiara Scott on, and she gave us some practices that we can do physically to improve our self-care. And today is going to be, we're going to focus on the mental and the social aspect of self-care. So without further ado, let me introduce today's guest. Makisha Griffin is a certified integrative wellness and life coach and the owner of Purposeful Transformations, a woman of faith with a desire to serve. She felt passionate about helping others her entire life. As a certified life coach, she uses her experiences to inspire you to move forward in your journey. Her coaching is about advancing your total wellness journey mentally, emotionally, physically, and spiritually through various resources, encouragement, and accountability. No matter how big or small no matter how big or how small your concern is, she's there to walk alongside with you every step of the way. And that is great to have a person who is committed and dedicated and has a heart for the people to want to be well in every area of their life. So without further ado, let's introduce today's guest and welcome today's guest, Makeisha Griffin. Hi, Makeisha.
Hi, Kay. How are you?
I'm great, and you?
Doing well, thanks.
Good. Thanks again for accepting my invitation, coming on our podcast to help others to practice self-care mentally and socially. So I really appreciate it.
And I appreciate you reaching out. I know there was a little bit of hiccup with the email, but I appreciate you taking the extra step to get in touch with me. That really means a lot.
Oh, no problem. No problem. So just, I like to know this a little bit before of our guests before we get started. I know we read in the Bible that you always had a passion to help people. So where did that passion come from?
Probably from my mom, like the women in my life. My mom, and I kid her today because my mom always had kids at our house. I was like, you were like the unofficial foster parent because
really?
Everybody's child was at our house. I watched her just take care of people's kids and do it with no problem, with no complaints. And I was like, wow. And then for me, I guess that's where it came from, but I've always liked helping people. And I can remember as far back as junior high school, I was a peer mediator, a peer counselor. Like one might say I was just being, I was trying to be nosy, being everybody's business, whatever. But I just like helping people. I like to help them get out of whatever they were going through, just to see them on the other end of that. And it's just been with me forever is what it seems like. It's always been with me.
So you probably sound like you were that person, like in your group of friends where they came to when they had an issue, they knew that you was going to listen and be there for them.
Yeah. I still am today.
Yeah.
Yep, you are right about that.
Yeah, that's awesome. So what steps did you take to become a certified life coach and health and wellness coach?
Um, the first step was to be real with myself and to get out of that fear. You can unofficially do something, but before you even get to the point of being a life coach, you have to work on your own life, right? You can't
Yes.
try to tell people what to do and your life is jacked up.
Right.
I had to do the work on myself first. Um I had to face some ugly truths about myself that I wasn't really necessarily ready to face, but I'm a better woman today for it. Just having to deal with some of the things. I'm like, that's not me. I don't do that. But I had to, like I said, I can't help you get over some stuff if I'm still like sweeping my stuff under the rug. So that was the first thing. And then, reaching out to people just to say, hey, I see you've gone through this program. How can you help me, or give me some tips and advice on how to navigate through it. So I think the biggest thing for me was just getting out of my own way.
Okay. And I like how you said that you help people in various with various resources, encouragement, and what got me was an accountability, because a lot of times we don't like to take account of our own actions, and I like that.
Yeah, you have to. I mean, because that's where it all starts. You have to be accountable for the choices that you make, for everything that you choose to do. You have to be held accountable for that. So I think that's very important, because I can give you all the resources in the world, but if I don't, if we're not doing follow-up, or I'm not checking in and you're not doing your part, then all of that is for nothing. So yes, it's all in love that
right.
But I just want to make sure, if you set out to do something, I just want to make sure that you're doing what you say. And my thing is, I am walking alongside you on your journey. I'm not in front of you. I'm not behind you. I'm doing this in partnership with you, like a tour guide,
Yeah.
So I'm going to make sure if I'm doing my part, then I need you to do yours. So accountability is absolutely important.
I like that, because I mean, if we're not holding ourselves accountable, like you say, you can give people resources all day long. You can talk to them until you're blue in the face, but if they don't do their part, or we don't do our part, then no, you're not going to see any change.
Not one, and still be complaining like, no, if you don't do the work, you won't see the change. So yep, accountability is a must.
Yeah, it is. Okay, so let's dive in. So mental health and self-care, and I know it's like a whole list of things that we can talk about, but one of the things I really want to talk about is like burnout. Yeah. Doing too much, and just knowing when to pull it back some. So what are some signs that or symptoms that it says, what, I'm burned out?
Right. So honestly, Kay, I feel like most of us, we know, like our gut tells us, what, you're doing too much, you need to slow it down. But we don't listen to our gut. It's like, that's us. That's our body way of telling us, hey, sis, you need to just slow down, right? You do too much. But especially we as women, we don't listen. We like, no, Superwoman, I'm gonna keep doing it. I think some of the things, like again, I think we all know when we're getting burned out, but when you don't have that joy and that drive to do something, when it feels like a job, you don't want to do it, it's always a complaint. Your body will tell you always getting headaches, your blood pressure high. It's just a lot. It is so much that goes into, that burnt out feeling. But I really feel like when you lose that passion that you once had, when you don't find that joy, like you go to work every day and you're like, man, this is stress. Oh my gosh, stress. All of those things, and that's not to say, oh, I'm stressed today, I'm burned out. That's not what I'm saying. It's a continuation. If you've been doing something for so long and, every time you think about it, you stressed out, you get a migraine or something is going on, that's when it's time to start reevaluating. Every time, it's like triggers. If every time you get ready to go to work and you automatically get a headache or your body tense up, and I keep saying work, but it could be right. Your body tense up, or you just have anxiety attacks, something is not right in that situation. So you got to check in with yourself. And
so if that's the case for someone, how do they begin to pull themselves out of that?
First you got to acknowledge it, because denial is real big.
Yeah.
That's not what it is. You have to acknowledge, if you feel like, I'll move to the home front, you always cleaning up, your partner or whoever, they don't help, you doing everything, and it's getting to be too much. You have to really acknowledge, like, hey, okay, something is not adding up. I'm doing all of this and I'm feeling this type of way. First, you have to acknowledge it. You have to know what it is that's causing you to feel burned out. Once you do that, you got to communicate. It's important. If it's at home and maybe, I don't know, your spouse is not pulling a weight or whatever, did you let him know that you needed some help, or that, because again, communication is important. So if it involves somebody else, or where you see you might need some help, you need to talk about it. And maybe, whether it's work or at home or whatever the case may be, that person don't know that you need help, because you always doing it and you doing it effortlessly. You just go and do it, because if you're doing it so much, people expect that out of you. They're like,
yeah, that's true.
So I'm not gonna worry about it.
That's true.
But you gotta speak up.
Yeah.
You have to make it known, like, hey, this is getting to be too much. Can I get some help? Or even, can I reallocate some stuff here or there? Or can you help me do X, Y, Z? So you really have to speak on it. I mean, nobody is going to know that you need some help with something if you don't talk about it.
That's true. Yeah. So communication, is speaking up once you get that feeling of like, hey, I'm doing too much. Like, whether, like you said, it's your partner, or whether it's something at work, I get that, because we as women, like you said, we tend to do too much at times.
Yeah.
And I know some women, some women are mothers, some women are wives, some women are like the person that everybody in the family go to.
Yeah. And that's tough when you are in, and I'll just speak from my own experience. Transparency, I'm big on that.
Yeah.
I am a wife and a mother, and especially when my kids were a little bit younger, it's a big age gap between the two, but it was me coming home from work. What we gonna eat? What's this? I gotta cook, clean up, wash clothes, wash dishes. And I started wearing that. Like, I was stressed, like I wasn't happy. And but at the time, it wasn't a conversation that I was having with my husband to say, listen, I need some help. But when I did, I was so frustrated. I was like, I'm not happy. I don't want to do this no more. He was like, wait, what's going on?
Where this come from? Right.
I'm like, well, you see me around here doing all of this stuff, but you don't want to help. See, we expect for people to jump in and not say nothing. But I'm like, I need some help. He's like, well, why you ain't just say nothing? I mean, I help you wash the dishes. I put the kids to bed. I'm like, was that all I had to do? So I knew that I was stressed out, and they know it too. They can see it, but
Yeah.
if they don't, if you don't verbalize how you feel, and we the queens of, I'm fine, I'm fine. Stop doing that. Like, don't do that. Cause you just adding more to your already stressed out mind. Like you doing too much. Stop saying you fine if you're not. So when you realize, when you figure out what it is that you burn, what's got you burned out, you gotta talk about it. So, you can't hold on to that stuff.
No, you can't hold on. 'Cause like you said, when you hold on to it, it manifests in
Hmm.
physical, in your physical.
Yes, it, like you said, it all works together.
Yeah.
Like, so
So what would you tell someone who, maybe, watching this or listening to this about what are some good practices for your mental health, self-care?
um for one, I am big on journaling and meditation.
Mm.
I Listen, I don't know if you can see it, but I have a shelf just for journals that I'm
Oh,
like writing, and it doesn't matter. It doesn't have to make any sense. Write your thoughts out, how you feel, what your mood is. Am I happy today? Why am I not happy? Who made me mad? Just be honest with yourself. Right. If you don't like to write, meditate. Meditation is really good. Um, I, for one, like, I might not meditate like you meditate. I love to go
mhm.
out. I love sounds of nature. I will go outside,
Yes.
sit outside and listen to the birds or whatever it is out there. I can't, like, that is the most silence I'm gonna get. The nature. I can't sit in here and
Yeah.
can't, because my mind.
I
I know.
like that too. I like the nature, and I love like the ocean, the beach. That's my happy
Yes,
place. That's my happy place.
yes, girl. Put me on the beach with some ocean waves. I'm good.
Yes.
Right. Um, Meditation, journaling, exercise. If that's your thing, whether it's taking a walk or doing whatever, exercise.
So now we did hit on that was one of the points for the physical. So explain to us how exercising can affect your mental.
Um, Stress reduction.
Mm.
I think it also helps your mind to get, because we're talking about mental, and our mind is always going,
Yeah.
it allows you to release that. If you're going for a walk, it don't even have to be a power walk, but I'm gonna say power walk because you might start off mad and you get moving, and all of that stress is coming off of you.
Mhm.
It's very and sometimes when you think about it, you're like, I don't want to exercise. But I promise you, if you do some exercise, will take your mind off.
Yeah.
Even if you haven't done it well, you get started listening. If you get a cramp in your leg, it's going to shift your thoughts off your problems to that leg.
To that cramp, right?
No, but seriously, it's just something. It just allows you to take a break away from whatever it is, to get out. If you go outside, you're gonna get some fresh air.
Mhm.
Just to be able to relax your mind for a little bit.
Mhm.
It.
So we have journaling. So I did want to touch on journaling because I mean I know this because I love to write. I'm a writer as well. So for somebody who may be listening to this, like how is writing my thoughts, whatever I'm thinking about, how is that going to help me mentally?
Well, for one, you're getting it out. You're getting it out of your system. And you know what? If you do it on a regular basis, you can go back and track your patterns. Like if you do over a week, all you talk about is being mad, then that's something for you to evaluate. A lot of times, because sometimes people, I try to write with intention. So I have journal prompts that I use to make me think about certain things, to make me decide how I plan to go about my day, to make me think about my thoughts or whatever it was that day, so that I can see And because journaling, when you were asking me earlier about, burnout, and I said, if you do it consistently, you can start to see patterns. So that can help you to acknowledge what's going on with you, to be able to come up with a plan to pivot from that madness all the time or that frustration, so you can know what to do next. And everybody don't like to journal, but for some it's very therapeutic. It does.
It really is cathartic. It really is.
Yeah, it helps you, get that off of you. Because sometimes you don't want to talk to people. You don't want to tell them what's going on. So tell it to yourself in your journal.
Yeah. Okay, so we have journaling, we have meditation, we have exercise, and what else would you say would be some good self-care practices for your mental health?
You have to set, and everybody always say self-care. That's like the word, right?
Yeah.
Real intentional about that. If that means, carving out some time to sit in the tub for 15 minutes with some candles lit, you have to be very intentional about taking time out for yourself, because you only get one step. It's just you. You only get that, and if you don't take care of yourself, nobody else is going to do that for you. Absolutely nobody. So you have to make sure that you're putting yourself as your number one priority.
Yeah, and I agree. I said this last week. Like self-care, like you said, it has been like a big buzzword like over the past several years now. And but like you said, you really do have to take care of self. I like to say it's good for self-care. It's good for you in this aspect to be selfish.
Yes,
because if you have to take care of yourself first before you can be any good to anybody else.
Amen. All the time. And with that being said, the way you treat yourself, the way, if people see that, okay, she's serious she got boundaries. I'm big on boundaries. That's a part of self-care. People stop sleeping on them boundaries. Get you some, because you showing people how to treat you. If they see you always doing, whatever to yourself, oh, she gonna come because, she always on the go. She not getting her rest. She not doing whatever. Well, you showing them that, you have to show, honey, take care of yourself. You have to.
I like that. I have posted a question on our Instagram page and on my personal Facebook, and I was just asking people, what do you do for self-care? And one particular person said, well, a couple of people said they say no.
Yes.
And that goes with your setting boundaries.
Yes, you can't say yes to everything. You can't. And also with the self-care part, I do want to, and I always say self-care is more than just, going to, it includes this now, so don't get me wrong, but you don't have to spend money for self-care. You don't have to always be getting your nails done and, going to get massages. Again, I am all for those, but self-care is so much bigger than that. And like you said, like the whole mental health, emotional, mental, physical, spiritual, all of that should be included in your self-care regimen.
And on that social aspect too, would you agree that surrounding yourself with good people is an act?
It absolutely
for your mental.
It is, because and the thing is, you have to grow into this space, but sometimes you gotta cut people off.
Ooh, come on now. Yes.
If you are trying to grow in a certain space, you can't have toxic people with you. That's not good, because I tell you what, and I always tell my husband this, people will always, oh, I knew Keisha when she was such and such. You knew that Keisha. You don't know Keisha. Like, we're always growing and evolving. So with that, your table or your circle or whatever it is that you have, it has to evolve too, because you can't be out here trying to start your own business and grow your brand. And then you got these group of, people over here in your ear like, girl, you can't, you can't, you can't.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, you can.
Mm-hmm.
As soon as you get rid of them can'ts, you absolutely can.
I looked, like you said, it's cutting people off that are, like you said, toxic, or who, like you said, you could have known them for years, but like you said, people change.
Mm-hmm.
And that is definitely a good self-care practice, to surround yourself with people that's for you, that'll be, that's rooting for you.
Yes.
Not to say that, because it's always good to have friends who are going to tell you the truth no matter what.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Not talking about that, talking about people who, like take you for granted, or, just don't want to see you succeed. Even, it's like they always want to succeed, but when it comes to you, they hating a little bit.
Right. And you don't need that. And like you said, you want people that are rooting and supporting. And again, you don't want no yes women like, yeah, girl, you should do that. Accountability. Your friends, if they your friends, they gonna like, girl, you said you was gonna do XYZ. Like, what's going on? You need some help, talk. People that are going to ride with you on your journey, not try to pull you down, not try to belittle or demean your efforts, but that are genuinely there. And you find out who your friends are in those situations.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do. And how about volunteering? Like volunteering of your time? I think that's a good practice of self-care, because like you mentioned earlier, it's taking the focus off of yourself. Like especially if you have like, a lot of issues, or when I say issues, like a lot of problems, that arise in your life. But I find for myself, like when you volunteer of your time, just take yourself out of the equation and you helping somebody else. That is a real mental boost.
Yes, it is, because a lot of times we'll find when doing that, you'd be like, I was stressing over that. Like, seriously? And that's not to diminish whatever we're going through, but it's to let you know that you could be somewhere else. That is somebody out here that's really, needing some help with a situation. And, I love volunteering and giving back. So you're absolutely right in that. Volunteering, like you said, it takes you away from your own issues and, allow you to be of service to somebody else.
Yeah, it really does, because and like you said, that's free. It might cost you a little bit of gas money, to get to the wherever you're going, but that's something that's free. That's something that's it will give you purpose.
Yes.
And I don't know, it just make you feel good,
Yeah, I was gonna say, after leaving there, I always feel so much better after I've, met some new people. It's just a feeling that, it's a great feeling.
It is. And like you said, meet new people, because I get one way how people can be bogged down probably mentally is because they're by themselves. In this life, we're not meant to live it by ourselves. We're meant to be surrounded by good people in our lives. So,
and this pandemic has been very trying, and everybody is zoomed out, and you long for that, like you said, with the social part of it. It was tough, especially last year. Like, everybody is just at home, and you're not. I was going to the gym twice a week and doing stuff that made me feel good. And it was like, pump your brakes. Now we're going on lockdown. And I'm like, I don't want to do another Zoom hangout. I want to see you in person,
Right.
But, it's been tough having to do that. But, people are creative and they come up with ways, go outside and put your little chairs, at a distance and talk. So it's still tough because you can't hug up on your
I
friends.
know. But like you said, it's still it made us to think outside the box.
Yes, you absolutely had to do
Most
that.
definitely. So, Makisha, before we wrap up, is there any thing you want to leave our audience with?
I just well first, it is International Women's Day Month, so
Mhm.
happy Women's Day to the women. But I
Yes.
just want to encourage everyone to, especially when it comes to your mental health, take that very serious. As I mentioned before, a lot of times people don't want to talk to others. If you find one person that you can confide in and trust, utilize that.
Mhm.
Like, don't leave everything bottled up inside of you, because the more you do it, when you get to a point where you want to release, and you will release, it might not be, in the best way. So I would just encourage everybody to just continue to use healthy outlets to, release, reduce your stress, talk
Mhm.
to people, and, any of the other practices that I mentioned before.
Okay. And you guys, if you're listening or you're watching and you want to connect with Makisha, you can go to her Instagram. It's purpose. Wait, is that
So it's purposeful, T4M.
okay? Okay.
I just tried to shorten transformation the best way I knew how. So it's purposeful,
Okay.
T4M.
So it's purposeful, and then the letter T, and then the number 4M. And then on Facebook is Purposeful Transformations. That's TRANS, the number 4, and then Mations, MATIONS. And do you counsel people via virtually, or is it your state?
Yes, it's virtual.
Okay, and also you can go to her website, purposeful T 4m.com. I'm going to have that in the information of the of where you're watching this or listening to this episode. So you'll be able to see all the contact information there in the description. Thank you so much, Makisha. And
I had a good time with you.
thank you. I just love doing this because I just learn so much from everybody that I bring on, and I do not take it lightly. I thank all my guests that come on and share their wisdom and give of their time, because time is the only thing that we cannot get back in this life, and
Absolutely.
it's really precious. And I thank you for sharing it with us.
Thank you.
Okay. All right, everybody. So that is going to conclude episode 2 of self-care, the mental part of it. We hope that you got something from it. I know that you will. I know you did. And you just be accountable. You heard these practices. You heard what to do if you are in this situation of a burnout, or you have some toxic people in your life, need to cut, or just need to start saying no to things and to people. Just put these things in practice. Be accountable to yourself, and you are going to be the better for it. So next week, we are going to come to you with the emotional aspect of self-care and give you tips on managing your emotions. Okay. So thank you so much. You guys know to like, share, subscribe, to our platforms. We on iHeartRadio, we on Spotify, just about every major platforms where you can listen to podcasts, all except for Tidal and Pandora. I just didn't feel like doing that right now. So, but everything else, and if you want to watch, we're on YouTube. You can watch it on Instagram, IGTV, and our Facebook page. I'm Kicking It with Kay and Clay podcast. So we're there for your every needs. Thank you, everybody, for riding it out with us, and to all the great women out there doing the work out there, whether you're a mom, stay-at-home mom, or if you're out in the workforce, and everything in between. We salute you. We women, we are magic. We are. Hey. All right, everybody. Thank you so much. And we will be back with you next week. Bye.
Picking up with Kay and Clay. Picking up with Kay and Clay.